What happens when a walkabout through a city isn't just a vlog, but a rant? And what happens when 1.4 million people buy into it? What happens when the language that is used isn't just descriptive, but it's very, very loaded? Welcome to English Decoded. I'm Nas. If you're new, welcome. Please take a moment to subscribe. Now, I just watched a video from Frankfurt's Bahnhofsviertel. Oh, my German is awful. My German is zero. Okay. But it's a place that's described with words like degenerates, heroin, and crack. I have heard about this area from some of my German students. Now, the clip you're going to watch, the narrator claims that immigrants have taken over, that he needs a bodyguard to watch over him. Today on English Decoded, we're not just going to define these words, we're not just going to decode the words, we're going to unpack the ideology behind these words. Now, I just watched this video out of interest. I've heard about the problem in Frankfurt, and I just wanted to see what the problem was really all about. Instead, I got a masterclass in division, us versus them, the language that people use for division. For context, let's first roll the script.
Whoa.
Why camera, bro?
Why?
Bro, not for me, يا صاحبي.
Why? Chill out.
Nee, first I'm beginning with heroin and crack.
Stay away then.
Hello.
Hello. We're filming. Part 2 of the European conquest has begun. And welcome to the financial capital of Germany, Frankfurt, or Crackfurt. And today we'll be going into the notorious neighborhood of the Bahnhofviertel, which has been completely taken over by crime, illegal migrants, and drugs. So, let's go. And joining me today is Fred, who is known for his formidable slap kick combo. Now you're probably wondering, Kurt, why do you need a bodyguard? You know, you've traveled all around the world, you've gone to the most dangerous countries on earth, yet in Europe you need somebody to watch over you. Well, out of all the places that I've been to, this is the most hostile. So a lot of people will tell you that you can't film, got to put the camera away, etc. So Fred will be joining me and stopping any threats. So as you can see, the lovely banks and high rises in the background. So we're in the center of the city. This is where the financial institution is, the Central European Bank is, and over here starts the Degeneracy. So, behind us, the Hauptbahnhof, the main train station. Let's not get run over by a tram. Tram's rights. So, Frankfurt is a major transport hub, and it's also a major transport hub for narcotics. So there's a lot of strange looking characters that hang around here. There's somebody getting interrogated by the police there. Let's walk down this road. A very multicultural road, as you can see. Well, it's called Frankfurt for a reason, eh? So, Afghan flags, lots of Arabic and Oriental shops, supermarkets, restaurants. You'll be lucky if you see a German flag or an actual German in this part of town. Police on standby again. So what are your thoughts so far on Frankfurt?
Well, it's just like where I come from in Manchester and Oldham and Rochdale. You know, you just can't find anyone that looks like you, talks like you, and has the same ideas as you. But you
Correct.
can get some great curries and great kebabs. So
Well, now that we've
makes
got
up
the
for it.
recipes, we can go back, right?
That's right.
Over here is a sign that says Waffenverbotszone, so
Weapons forbidden.
exactly a weapons forbidden zone. So no handguns, no knuckle dusters, no knives, and no pepper spray.
That'll
Right.
stop 'em.
Das geht nicht.
Mach dein scheiß Video weg.
Ich habe ein Recht, auf der Straße zu filmen. Verstehen Sie das nicht? There's a lady ODing right over here. So let's get out of here.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a dead end, so. Wow, almost had a bottle on my head there. We've got to watch our backs, man.
Terrible.
Even the ladies are crazy over here. Fucking hell, that wouldn't have ended well.
Crazy.
That's why you got your umbrella.
Yeah, exactly.
Under my umbrella, Ella. Oh, there's some drug dealers right over there. Are you a... Why are you a...
Ich weiß nur, dass im Moment wirklich, wie soll man es sagen, sehr viele Differenzen sind.
Okay.
Dass viele Steuern verschwendet werden für andere Dinge und das Volk letztendlich massiv darunter leidet. Und dadurch
Okay.
natürlich auch Leute, die lebenlang die Grundvoraussetzungen für alles geschaffen haben, heute Flaschen sammeln müssen, weil sie nicht mit ihren Kosten zurechtkommen. Angela Merkel wurde fürs Bundesverdienstkreuz ausgezeichnet, wo sie ab 2015 die Türen aufgemacht hat und alles hier hochgekommen ist. Alles gut und schön für Leute, die wirklich in Not sind. Aber sie hat natürlich auch etwas damit ausgelöst, wenn man sich vorstellt, dass von 2015 bis 2025 knapp 30.000 Menschen im Mittelmeer ertrunken sind, tot. Ich stelle mir dann natürlich dann sofort die Frage, was war denn davor? Von 2005 bis 2015, da waren es mal gerade ein paar hundert Leute, die ertrunken sind.
Genau.
Und alle, die da ertrunken sind, aktuell aufgrund von Hoffnung. Die kommen.
Warum? Mach mir kaputt. Mach schon. Okay. Well, he said he's gonna break me. Okay. Lovely engineer. You think it was an engineer or a doctor?
Astronaut.
Astronaut. As you guys can see, there's a police van parked right over there. Over here, an open drug trade. Just people selling drugs and smoking crack. So I always find it funny, you know.
The thing about homelessness, I've explored this topic in a couple of my group classes. We've explored videos, we've looked at videos of the homeless in Spain, people with PhDs who've become homeless. They are not all degenerates. So let's start with that word, degenerate. Degenerate, it's such a heavy word. It's such a loaded word. It doesn't just mean that they are immoral. Its root is, it says kind of that these people have fallen from a former state of goodness. But the problem with the word degenerate is that it was used in Nazi ideology, and that makes it so not okay. The word degenerate was used to label and to justify the persecution of anyone who was deemed unworthy. It was also used to describe modern art. So I'm not sure whether this narrator understood the gravity of the word, but when he used it, he wasn't just criticizing, he was dehumanizing. He is placing these people outside of the circle of our human concern. They are the others, the degenerates. Then he links this entire area to narcotics, to heroin, to crack. Now, this exists everywhere, but what he's doing is he's associating this marginalized group with disease, with vice, with drugs. It just creates this very simple fear-based equation. These people, drugs, danger. Now, let me be clear. I would not want to live in a place that was infested with drugs. I don't even want to be around people who take drugs. That's just my view. But I do think that his view of the situation is very skewed. It's all about the immigrants. Now, when I watched the video, I don't know about you, but some of the people on those streets looked like Germans to me. So I have to ask the question, what's the real story in Germany? Is it really about the immigrants? Is that really the problem? Or is it that there's an economic crisis that no one wants to talk about? It's like, well, if we don't talk about it, it doesn't exist. Is it about the immigrants? I'm not German. I don't live in Germany. I've never visited Germany. I don't know. I'm just watching this video. The next phrase that he uses is taken over. Now, this is a classic tenet of what's called the Great Replacement Theory. It's a far-right conspiracy that claims that there's a deliberate plot to replace white populations with non-white immigrants. So they are taking over. And this phrase is so loaded, especially when it's put together with the visuals, with the images in this video, because it implies an invasion. It implies a loss of control. It erases the reality of legal immigration and, a simple demographic change. His specific mention of the Bangladeshis isn't just an observation, it's a dog whistle. It's singling out one non-European group to fuel this narrative. Now, he could have said it's a cultural melting pot, because that particular area, when he mentioned the Bangladeshis, I don't think there was much drugs and homelessness involved, but he chooses not to see anything positive around him. He doesn't see the skyscrapers. He doesn't see the affluence as he walks towards this drug zone, this homeless zone. Now, clearly, he went into this recording to expose the degeneracy. He called it Degenerates. That is Frankfurt. It's a very interesting perspective. I'll give him that, but I want to know, is it the real deal? Frankfurt. He calls it Crackfoot. And then when he walks past the immigrants, he calls it Frankfurt. Now, this is a deliberate reference to the smells. And then later on in the video, he talks about, well, at least you can get a good curry. I wouldn't have said that. Kind of racism? I don't know. You be the judge. Now, the fact that this video got 1.4 million views is concerning. And maybe I'm calling it out because I'm an immigrant. I'm an immigrant. But what makes me different? Oh, I'm not homeless. I'm not an addict. I dress well. I hope so. Is it because I invested in the country? But I'm still an immigrant, aren't I? Since when did that become a dirty phrase? Or should I use the fancy phrase, ooh, I emigrated to Turkey. Come on, potato, potato. I'm an immigrant. This is what an immigrant looks like. But like I said, I haven't been to Germany. I don't know. So for anyone out there who's watching, is this the real Frankfurt? Or is this just one shady area in a beautiful country? Is this just the very, very worst of Germany? Or is this a norm? Is this what Germany is all about? And if it is, that's scary. Now let's talk about his, I'm going to say it, performance of fear, the bodyguard, the umbrella to protect the bottles. But the umbrella stayed closed. So these aren't practical choices. I'm going to say these are props. They are accessories. Okay, because that umbrella stayed closed all the time. Now, these props are interesting because they frame him as a brave explorer in a hostile land, a land he chose to go into. And this kind of justifies his presence and his recording. He's going into this hostile land, this drug zone full of homeless people. When I did the class on homelessness, what we realized was that those people did not choose to be homeless. Many of them didn't. Someone with a PhD doesn't choose to be homeless. life happens. I think I read this somewhere. You can fact check it. We are all 10 bad decisions away from being homeless. Lose your job, can't find another job with the economic crisis going on, get turned down for multiple jobs, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, savings all gone, can't pay your rent. You're living in a different city or country from your family. Oh, wow, that wasn't even 3 steps away from homelessness. So when he goes into this hostile environment, this danger zone, he's walking into someone's home. For these homeless people, this is the only place that they call home. Now I'm going to talk about something else that's quite controversial. The Ray-Ban Meta glasses. I have them. I have them. I love them. Why? Because of the seamless recording ability, but it does raise a huge ethical question. I've discussed it multiple times. I fully accept that for the people on the street, and especially those in vulnerable states, I mean, especially the woman who is ODing, they haven't consented to being filmed. So is it legal? Yes. Yes, actually it is. Because Meta has this feature on the Ray-Ban Metas, and I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but here are mine. I have them. There's a little green light that goes on when you're recording. So that makes it legal. But is it moral? That's something I really struggle with. I love them because I can take my calls on them. I can take photos without taking out my phone. They're very convenient. But is it moral? If I'm taking a photo of someone who hasn't consented to being filmed, but then I suppose that's the same with my DJI Pocket, my smartphone, your smartphone. Now, what he's done in this video, I'm going to throw a phrase out there. Is it poverty tourism? Poverty tourism, is he exploiting these people? Is he turning someone's lowest moment into content for clicks? And then when someone throws the bottle at him and he says, even the ladies, oh, I'm not sure if he fully understands the language that he's using, because that single word, even, is key. Even the ladies. There's this element of surprise that a woman, stereotypically seen as nonviolent, would act this way, but homelessness grabs anyone. Look, that phrase, even a woman, shades of misogyny. I don't know, because it's holding women to a different, more pure standard. And the shock when a woman violates it, how dare she be violent? He's judging. He's judging based on gender. The point that I want to bring home here is that the language that we use is so important. Okay, this is why I'm decoding not just the words, but the tone, the choice of words. And when I watched that clip, perhaps the most chilling moment for me was the passive moment. They see this woman overdosing, right? And what do? They film and they move on. That's the bystander effect. Don't get involved. This video isn't just a document of a place. It's his documentary. It's his perspective, a perspective that sees difference as a threat. Poverty is a moral failure. People who are homeless, well, he uses the language of dehumanization to make his point. What exactly did we decode today? We decoded how language affects perception. We spoke about words like degenerate or degenerate and take over. The technology, meta sunglasses, creating these ethical dilemmas in public places. And we saw that one person's point of view can frame an entire community because 1.4 million plus watched it. So the phrases that really stood out for me was takeover. Takeover is to control, gain control of something. It's often used in a hostile way. Okay, take over. And degenerate, a person who is seen as morally corrupt, or having, a declined state, gone from good to homeless. And this cultural melting pot, I like this because it's a positive phrase. It's a diverse mix of cultures, people, ideas. That's the way the world should be. And I said the woman was ODing, overdosing, so she took a dangerous, often it's a lethal amount of a drug. And then I mentioned the dog whistle when he spoke about the Bangladeshis. Now, a dog whistle is a coded message. That seems normal. On the surface, it seems normal, but it's sending a specific signal to a targeted group. Clearly, he does not approve of the Bangladeshis, though he does like the curry. I'm not sure that he fully grasped the vibe that he was giving off in this video. And I'm going to throw in a big word here, xenophobia. Xenophobia. What is xenophobia? It's a fear or hatred of people from other countries or other cultures, xenophobia. I want you to think about this. When we watch a video like this, are we seeing reality or are we seeing someone's perspective, a reality that's constructed through a specific, sometimes a deeply biased lens? Because the words that we choose don't just describe the world, they shape how we see it. And how we see it dictates how we act within it. Now, I went deeper. I checked out his channel, and I see that he's done an expose on Cape Town, the Cape Flats. Even though South Africa is my home country, I am from South Africa. I emigrated. It's the Cape Flats. I don't think it's a place I would go to because from all the reports, it's really dangerous. And, I like life. I like life. I also like to embrace the diversity that's life. I love different cultures. I'm fascinated by different people. And when I see a homeless person, I don't want to film them. I want to help them. And sometimes I'm not able to, but I don't want to monetize their pain. But I am going to keep a completely open mind, and I'm going to take a look at that video about South Africa. I want to see his perspective. I watched a couple seconds and he already started with, I'm going into this place with the biggest rapper in South Africa. Someone I haven't heard of, someone I hadn't heard of, but I'm curious to see what the real South Africa looks like. If you feel that you learned something new in this video, then please take a moment to like. Go ahead and subscribe because I will be decoding anything that I find interesting on this channel. I'm Nas, and it is ciao for now.